Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. Thank you for checking the video out. Today we have more PlayStation news, rumors, and leaks to go over and cover here today. So as always, before we dive into these topics, if you end up enjoying the video or finding it informative, be sure to leave it a like. And if you are new here to the channel, consider hitting that subscribe button as well. We're starting here talking about an update to the Spotify app on the PlayStation 5. You can now get the native PlayStation 5 Spotify app coming from PlayStation Universe. PS5 users will no longer need to run the Spotify app through backwards compatibility, as the music streaming service has now released a native PS5 Spotify app for users to download. The arrival of the version of Spotify for PS5 shouldn't come as a surprise, as PlayStation Game Size on Twitter outed the app earlier this year. The upgrade only weighs in at 40 megabytes, so you should be able to grab it without any issue, although right now there's no confirmed list of changes in comparison to the original PS4 version of the app. Still, the fact it's a native PS5 version should at least offer some improvements. So there you go. If you are somebody who uses Spotify occasionally or frequently on your PS5, there is now a native version of the app. But we're moving right to the next topic, which is yet another update on Silent Hill 2 Remake. This time we have the game's creative director and lead designer explaining why they decided to change the camera angle in this game and make it an over-the-shoulder camera. The original version of Silent Hill 2 used 3D environments with fixed camera angles, similar to what we would see in something like Resident Evil Code Veronica. And so he says, we want Silent Hill 2 to make the same strong impression today that the original game did 21 years ago. While we want to achieve the same end result, players' expectations evolve over time, and certain things need to be modernized to have the same or similar effect. For example, that's why we went with the over-the-shoulder camera, so we can immerse players into the game world as much as possible. So there you go. If you were wondering why exactly Bloober Team decided to change the camera angle to over the shoulder, this is the reasoning that Bloober Team is giving, and I think it's a pretty good reason. I have to agree that it is true, players' expectations change over the years, and when it comes to remakes, there are things that players obviously expect to stay the same and to remain unchanged, but as we've seen with most successful remakes, there are also some changes that are made that just make sense and add to the game. Moving right to the next topic though, we have a small but potentially significant update on the Last of Us standalone multiplayer game that's currently in development. We know that we can expect a full reveal sometime in 2023, and people are wondering, is this going to be a premium priced game, or is there a chance, because it's going to be a live service title, it could be free to play? Well, according to a new job ad from Naughty Dog, it seems that we can expect this game to be free to play. This was discovered by a Reddit user, and the job ad for a live ops producer says that they're looking for someone with proven experience in a production role supporting a AAA free-to-play live title, experience in customer support, player support, or community management, and experience working with networking, server, or online processes. So there we have it. If we are to go by this job listing, it seems to indirectly confirm that this multiplayer title from Naughty Dog will be free to play. And I have to say, this does not come as a surprise to me at all. In fact, anybody who's been following my channel for a while, if you've heard me in the past talk about this multiplayer game, even like 2 years ago, I was speculating that it would likely be free to play, and it would likely also release day and date on PC, because when you listen to the way Sony talks about how they want to succeed in the live service area with some of their upcoming games, I mean, this is the way you have to do it. You have to make the game as accessible as possible, and making it free to play does just that. And you also have to try to expand and, bring it to as many audiences as you can where it makes sense. So releasing it onto PC as a free-to-play title also makes a lot of sense. So yeah, I think that it's going to be a very big deal when this game is not only revealed properly for the first time, like I think people are just going to be surprised at how big this game is going to be. and the fact that it's multiplayer, but I think it's also going to shock some people when it's announced that it's free to play. Maybe some people won't be shocked necessarily, but I do think it's going to be a big deal. So there you go. That's the latest update I have for you when it comes to The Last of Us standalone multiplayer game. But we're continuing to talk about Naughty Dog here because it seems that Sony is building a new team internally to work on a new game alongside Naughty Dog. This was discovered through a new job listing for PlayStation Global that is looking for a senior producer, and this is what the job listing reveals. Sony PlayStation is building a new internal game development team in partnership with PSS Visual Arts, an award-winning full production group that specializes in animation, motion capture, cinematics, art, and scanning. This is the same world-class team known for its contributions to the Last of Us franchise. This high-visibility project is being developed in collaboration with Naughty Dog. Though currently unannounced, we have a clear vision and plan to release. Using our existing expertise and premier talent, we will guarantee a high visual quality bar for the game and a compelling experience for our players. Our team is seeking a dedicated, focused, and self-motivated producer with a broad, proven experience and a track record of building processes to help the team achieve its highest potential. As the ideal candidate, you will be proficient in all aspects of AAA game production and management. So yeah, this was something that a lot of people discovered, and it does sound pretty exciting because it sounds like whatever this title is will be a new game announcement. Now, it could potentially be like another remake situation. I did see some people saying that maybe this is something to do with like an Uncharted remake of some kind, and that's certainly possible. It could be a brand new game. It could be something to do with the Last of Us multiplayer game. It's hard to tell exactly, but nonetheless, this team sounds like it's going to be something we might want to pay attention to. It sounds like something significant. And the one thing that they're really putting a lot of emphasis on is that whatever it is they're working on, it's going to look really, really good. So yeah, the game, as they say here, is unannounced, and this could maybe be one of the titles that we end up seeing announced whenever Sony does hold another show. At this point, I think that whenever Sony holds another show, people are certainly expecting quite a few announcements from PlayStation's internal teams. But yeah, they're working with Naughty Dog, so that maybe gives us, a rough idea of what we can expect here. So let me know your thoughts on that down below. Next up, we're closing out the video with more God of War info. First up, we have confirmation that there will be a photo mode, but it won't necessarily be there at launch. God of War Ragnarok's photo mode feature won't be available at launch. This is what Santa Monica Studio has confirmed. When previews went live last Friday, some pointed out the notable omission of a photo mode. Interestingly, it took the developer 5 days to release a statement confirming that it plans to add photo mode to the game, just not at launch. And so they say in their official tweet here that photo mode will be coming to God of War Ragnarok after launch. We'll share more details closer to when we plan to release it, and we can't wait to see all of the captures once it's live. So depending on who you are, this might not be a big deal to you at all, or this could be a pretty significant deal. There's no doubt that there is a community of gamers who really look forward to these photo modes, and they spend a lot of time with them. But still, it's not like God of War Ragnarok isn't getting a photo mode. It's just going to come sometime after launch. I imagine it won't be too long after launch, so I figured I would let everybody know about that. But moving on to the final God of War Ragnarok topic, we're talking about the latest behind-the-scenes video that Sony released. Reading from Gaming Bolt, it says the second video in Sony Santa Monica series detailing the development of God of War Ragnarok is now available. This time, the focus is on combat, from the animations to the difficulty tuning. As combat designer Stephen O notes, I'm just going to call him Stephen O, one of the most challenging parts of the job isn't the technical implementation of creating a creature, but it's navigating that line between frustrating and engaging. The goal is to make something that makes players lean forward and focus and try hard against that enemy and feel good about overcoming that. But we don't want to make them feel defeated if they can't figure something out. All 9 realms are available in the sequel, though not immediately from the onset, and each has a unique theme and enemies. The development team heard feedback, and more mini-bosses and enemy variety has been leaned into. players have battled the Dark Elves in Alfheim, but now they're going up against the Light Elves. Combat has also been heavily improved. New abilities are showcased, including a sick move that launches an enemy into the air with the Blades of Chaos before grappling and detonating them. The blade grapple is also useful, expanding on traversal and increasing the overall speed of combat. Building up the stun meter also leads to different means of decapitation. Atreus will also be much more aggressive this time, and there will be more mini games and puzzles involving both father and son. And so that's just a small little summary of what this video discussed, but I, once again, am going to have this video linked down below, and you'll be seeing some of the footage in the background as well. I highly recommend you check this out. I know that this is one area of the game that many people consider the most important, and obviously you want to know what are the big changes that were made to combat and the overall feel, flow, and design compared to God of War 2018. One of the things that they definitely showcase in this video that we did talk about in our last video is the brutality and how it's clearly been increased, but still you get the sense that they're not showing everything yet and they're holding back quite a bit. But nonetheless, the combat looks incredible. It was also really cool to kind of get these little clips where you see Atreus really being a lot more aggressive than he was in the first game. I mean, he just gets right up in there with Kratos now, and you can tell that he's just going to be not only much more helpful, but it seems like you're just going to not have to worry, or Kratos, I should say, is not going to have to worry nearly as much about protecting Atreus. He's really going to be able to hold his own. And I believe one of the developers from Santa Monica in this video basically described Atreus more as a companion this time around, and not necessarily somebody that you have to worry about protecting at all times. So very cool. I really, really like this video series that Santa Monica is doing, where each Tuesday they're dropping something new that allows the development team to not only get some spotlight, but really explain a lot of the things that people want to hear about and learn about and know about going into God of War Ragnarok. So yeah, the combat is looking very, very good. But that's going to do it for this video, guys. I hope you did enjoy it. I hope you did find it informative. Again, if you did, be sure to leave it a like, subscribe if you're new, hit the bell notification icon, and feel free to share the video out on top of all that. But until next time, guys, take care.